Cross-examination means that examination which is done by the adverse party. So if I have called a witness but the opposite party is examining my witness, then such an examination by the opposite party is called cross-examination. So let's see what is the object of cross-examination and what are its rules. Coming to the object of cross-examination, the object is to find out the credibility or truth of the witness. Since the witness always deposed in the favor of the party calling him, so the cross-examination becomes very much essential in order to extract the truth from the witness. Number 2, to weaken or diminish the case of the adverse party. If questions in the form of leading are asked from the witnesses, then it helps the adverse party to weaken the case of the other to the party calling witness. Number 3, to prove one's own case by witness of opposite party. So if a witness is declared hostile, then the opposite party can easily prove his case by relying upon the testimony of that hostile witness, because he had given witness against the interest of the party calling him. So these are the 3 objectives with which cross-examination becomes a part of judicial proceedings. Now there are there is effect of non-cross examination. The court, there are certain case laws dealing with it. Gopal Saran versus Satya Narayan, court stated that if a witness after being examined in chief does not appear to subject him to cross-examination in spite an order made by the court, then his evidence becomes valueless and cannot be looked upon. So, if a witness does not appear for the cross-examination, then the value of his examination in chief becomes nil. It weakens the case of the party. Another case law, Neminath versus Jambu Rao, court stated that if no opportunity is given for the cross-examination of a witness, then his evidence must be excluded from consideration. These case laws shows how much essential it becomes to cross-examine any witness in a judicial proceedings. Then we have another case law, Devar Park Builders versus Madhuri Jalan. Court said that evidence will not be inadmissible as there is no provision under the law that if witness was not cross-examined, his evidence would be absolutely discarded. So remember section 130, language of 138, which stated that it is the discretion of the party, it is the discretion of the adverse party whether to subject a witness to the cross-examination or not. So if a witness is not cross-examined, this does not mean that his evidence would be absolutely rendered inadmissible. Though cross-examination is necessary, but if it is not being done, then it does not render inadmissible his examination in chief. Now there are 4 rules of cross-examination. Number 1, like examination in chief, cross-examination must again relate to the relevant fact, but it need not be confined to the facts which were stated in examination in chief. Section 138 states that examination in chief and cross-examination both must be confined only and only to the relevant fact. However, it is not necessary that the cross-examination is to be only confined to the facts which were deposed by the witness in his examination in chief. Any other matters which are relevant but though not deposed under the examination in chief can be asked in cross-examination. Number 2, leading question can also be freely asked in cross-examination as per section 143. What are leading questions? Already dealt by me under section 141. Number 3, a witness may be cross-examined as to previous statement made by him. Now section 145. Section 145 states that a witness can be cross-examined as to the previous statement made by him in writing or reduced in writing without such writing being shown to him or proved. But if it is intended to contradict him on the basis of such writing, then it is necessary that the writing by which he is to be contradicted must be shown to him. That means the statement which were recorded under section 161 can be used to contradict him in section 145, because the bar which is given under section 162 does states that we can use the statements recorded under section 161 provided that it is used only for the purpose of impeaching the credit or contradicting the witness. So here, if we are contradicting the witness on the basis of previous statement made by him writing, then we can contradict him and it is allowed. Witness may be cross-examined as to previous statement made by him in writing or reduced to him writing without such writing being shown to him. But if we are trying or if we are intending to contradict him, then it is necessary that before such contradiction is done, his writing is shown to him. So the object of this section is to give chance to the witness to explain or reconcile his statement before the contradiction can be used as an evidence. This is the case of Tara Singh versus State. The court in Tara Singh versus State dealt with the objective of section 145, and the court said that the object of section 145 is to give a chance to the witness to explain or to reconcile his testimony before he is contradicted on the basis of such writing.